guys, Dr. Seti here, the weight loss therapist, and I figured we should talk about carbs. Because as you know, carbs get a bad rap and are often very villainized, and they don't need to be. So I thought it was worth kind of talking about why that is, what we're talking about when we talk about carbs, particularly when we talk about bad carbs and good carbs and what that actually means. So that we're kind of on the same page with that, because carbs shouldn't get the rep that they seem to get. So when most people talk about bad carbs, or oftentimes simple carbs, they're talking about refined starches and simple sugars, right? Refined starches are things like white rice or white flour. Basically, when we say refined, they're grains that were once whole foods, but have been processed and ultimately stripped of really their fiber and their nutrients, right? And simple sugars often include candy, sugar-sweetened beverages that are basically a carbohydrate in the simplest form possible, and completely lacking in nutrients. So both of these kind of bad carbs are labeled as such because of the impact that they have on your body and your blood sugar, because refined carbs and simple sugars are basically just very short chains of carbon molecules that don't require any processing in our system. So the sugar goes directly into our bloodstream, which can cause that blood sugar spike that we all don't want and we all talk about avoiding, which is usually followed by a major crash, which zaps us of all of our energy, leaves us hungry and looking for more carbs. And that whole process happens without any nutritional benefit whatsoever. Good carbs, on the other hand, are usually referring to whole food-based carbohydrates, which are unrefined plant foods like whole grains, legumes, fruit, veggies. Because these foods are unrefined, they still contain all of their natural fiber, their vitamins, their nutrients, their phytochemicals, right? Which is what makes them so good for us. These good carbs, or complex carbs, are called that because they're longer, more complex chains of carbon molecules, so they take a lot longer for your body to break them down, which prevents the blood sugar spike and drop that we see with those simple carbs. So these complex carbs provide a slow release of energy for the body, which, is a wonderful thing. It provides us with all of our needed nutrients. And the primary benefit comes from fiber. So when we're talking about good carbs and bad carbs, simple carbs and complex carbs, fiber is the key component that differentiates that. Fiber is the part of a whole grain food that our bodies can't digest. And that may sound like it's a bad thing, but it's a wonderful thing, because we get this blood sugar benefit, because the fiber slows our digestive process and ultimately slows the release of sugar into our bloodstream, right? And in addition to the blood sugar benefit, fiber is a gold mine for our bodies in so many different ways. I know you've heard me talk about it. It decreases our risk of heart disease, of type 2 diabetes. It can help lower body's cholesterol. It can help promote really good gut bacteria and health in our gut microbiome to help reduce risk of bodily inflammation. It helps boost our immunity, and it helps keep us feeling fuller longer, preventing us from overeating. So fiber is key, and we get it from complex carbs. So we want fiber, we get it from carbs, therefore those carbs are good. So just kind of a reminder, like most food, carbs in their natural whole food form are the best and something we want in our bodies. Overly processed, overly refined anything, especially carbohydrates, is something we don't want in our body. So when we talk about carbs and we talk about the things we want to eat, focus on whole grains, fruits, veggies, and legumes, because your body actually does want and benefit from these items. So those carbs are wonderful, not villains, maybe even heroes. We like them a lot. So make sure you're incorporating them into your diet regularly. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.